Are you thinking of buying a house right now? But do you feel like the real estate market is in a state of gridlock, also non-stuck? High prices, high interest rates, low inventory are making you nervous today? Well, today I will dissect the housing market and tell you what you should expect for the remainder of this year and into 2025. Let's go in.
Welcome back. More signs of that 7+% mortgage rate pressuring housing today. Purchase applications for the week ending May 10th dropped 2% from the week prior, while refi demand was up just 5%.
So why do you think the market is in a state of gridlock, right? That we feel like everything is stuck. Nothing is really moving in the right direction. And there's a few things that we need to analyze in today's video so that we really need to understand what's happening with this crazy market, okay? So you see, since the pandemic came in, a lot of people experience a rush to go and buy a different house, maybe a bigger home. Interest rates were low. People were staying at home, stuck at home, working from home. So everybody went crazy about buying different type of properties, right? And if we add more to that, all of these big corporations buying houses, which by the way, I have a video right here about that, then that's just a whole different story. But let's just concentrate right now on this gridlock. So high prices since 2020, high interest rates since the last 12 to 18 months, right? And the low inventory, it's causing all these things to have the market in a very difficult situation. And if you are a buyer, the move up buyer type of person that you really want to sell your house and buy another bigger home for your family, or if you are just simply buying your first house, this is probably making you very nervous and anxious, right? You with me on this one? Okay, so let's continue. So you see, there is a natural and seasonal slowdown right now as we speak with everything that is happening, because just the market is just really not doing what it's supposed to be doing for a lot of people. There's really not a lot of homes, although there are certain parts of the country that are experiencing an increase when it comes to inventory. And the most recent study from CoreLogic says the following. Forecast of prices at a national level says the CoreLogic forecast indicates that home prices will rise by 0.8% from April 2024 to May 2024 and increase by 3.4% on a year-over-year basis. Okay, so this is what's just is happening, but it says home prices growth set to cool by the spring 2025. So you see now we're thinking about a cooling down of the prices, which can be a good thing for certain buyers. Now, if we talk about mortgages, let's just look at, say, like mortgages have been in the 30-year fix. That's the only one that I'm talking right now. If we analyze for the last year, especially the peak when they went around 8%, that was back in October 2023. That's when we had a national average of about 8.03%. And then, of course, as it went down just a little bit, and it has been having those up and downs. Right now, if we are looking into the peak of this year, was around April the 25th. That's when we had a big increase of the market and the interest rates, and now an average of about 7.334. And then we had this week had a really nice drop going into the month of June to a 7.11%, which is a really nice thing to have if we are talking about the interest rates. But that's, again, we're going back, it's not enough to make this market move forward. So this is from an article from the nationalmortgageprofessional.com. This is from David Krivchevsky, and it says home prices hit record high in May. Inventory affordability plagued by buyers. Okay, so as nation nears the traditional end of the spring season or the home buying season, there is a sign that the market is heating up, reheating in certain parts of the country where you see a lot of these prices going out of control. So me and my personal experience here in Montgomery County, I have seen a little bit of both. If the house is in good location and it has a really good things, definitely it's something that is going to sell right away. Good schools, good location, good renovations, and location, house will sell very well. Now, if the house is lacking upgrades, maybe it is not in a good place, the schools are not as good, transportation is not as easy, it's a little bit outside of the metro area and so on, maybe those houses are going to sit on the market for about 2-3 weeks, but eventually they'll sell. They may see, in some cases, I'm seeing one price adjustment. Believe it or not, one price adjustment, it's all I am seeing in some cases before the house goes under contract. So how interest rates have shaped the economy of this country, especially the housing market. So we're going to go back right now here to the graph, and we're going to take a look at, this is tracks from 1971. That's when the oil prices is starting to track interest rates. And as you can see, from the highest point of 17%, which was back in December of 1981, definitely we have had our peaks and valleys, but definitely you see the downtrend here in this. So as where things are right now compared to before, paying a 17% interest rate sounds like a huge nightmare, but in reality, a lot of grandparents have to go through that process. And this is something that we really have to just be mindful. Now, we got it spoiled because after 2008, things got very depressed and the market meltdown and so on. Things definitely took a little bit slower to get to the point where things are. And then, of course, we remember we got into 2020, we saw a huge drop in the interest rate. So that's definitely has increased. Cheap money makes it very easy for people to start buying more things, sometimes things that they don't need, but that's a whole different story. So the Federal Reserve may not have a solution to the inflation right now. And that's what I think we are in a state of gridlock, because they are facing that they know that they need to reduce interest rates to make things more affordable for buyers. But the moment they start making small adjustments, they know that completely they're going to get out of control everything that we are seeing right now out there. By when I say everything, I mean everything. Lower interest rates is going to fuel the demand of buyers to start buying more homes, buying more vehicles, traveling more, using more credit cards, which again, in a consequence, is going to make like the inflation go high. So trying to keep that inflation CPI index around 2%-ish, it's where the Fed is struggling, and the only way to do it is just to keep the appetite for money kind of constrained just a little bit so that people are not overspending. But it's a difficult task. It's not an easy one, and I think people are really going to struggle when it comes to a lot of these things, but that's for later on, just to see how that's going to work out. But a reduction of interest rates right now, it is not the solution for affordability. It is not. I think the solution for affordability, it's more inventory, but the problem is some of these sellers that are right now have properties that they want to sell. There is a big percentage of sellers, they feel like they're locked to their properties. They don't want to sell because if they sell that house, yes, they have a lot of equity. Where are they going to move? And it's probably going to cost them more money than what they're currently paying if they have a mortgage right now in the 2.5% to 3.5% interest rate, because they were able to take advantage of the refinancing back in the days. But that's a whole nother story. So as I was talking about the pandemic at the beginning, definitely had a bigger impact on where things are right now. And let's just analyze a little bit of what happened during the pandemic, where now people are able to work from home. Yes, some of these homes are, people don't like these homes, but they don't want to give them away because of the comfortable they are where they are living with a low interest rate. So how do we get out of this gridlock? How can we buyers have more positive news and feel better about the state of this gridlock? It's really certain things have to happen, and of course I'm not going to get into politics here, but I think it has to really have some sense of a stop printing money. The monetary policies have to really change. High interest rates can definitely kill the job market and demand and a lot of those things, but having a different policy where people are more fiscal responsible is really what I think we need from the real estate perspective. You do have people getting into loans that they cannot afford. You have people paying higher prices for houses that maybe at some point will lose value. Now, if you're going to be in that house for the next 30 days, then 30 years, you don't have to worry, but still, it's a big concern for a lot of people. So future projections, real estate, interest market, interest rates, and housing market, where do I see things? I think we're going to see interest rates kind of be about the same in 2025. They're going to have a little bit up and down, up and down, up and down. But I don't think you're going to have a big drop in interest rates because inflation continues to be a big problem for the economy. They will probably stay high, interest rates. Yeah, you'll probably see interest rates pretty high. I think the housing market will be cooling down towards the end of this year and early next year. You probably will see certain homes will sell well, but not by much, definitely not by $200,000-$300,000. I think that inflation will continue to be a threat. I think that as long as inflation it's above that 3% right now, where things are 3.4%, I think the Federal Reserve will continue to have to keep interest rates higher with the fear not to kill the job market at the same time. Believe it or not, we need the jobless claims to go up in order for the interest rates to come down. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's the way it is. Now, I'm telling you a lot. I'm not done with it, but if you're really thinking about making a move to Maryland, DC, or Virginia, you really want to start the process right now, and you really want to start interviewing people about this, feel free to drop me a line here, leave a comment, or schedule a video call with me so that we can definitely talk more about what you're trying to do in the near future. So let's go back. So here are a few strategies I'm going to leave behind to you so that you can navigate this kind of like a gridlock where we feels, okay? Number one, be patient and be able to adapt. What I mean by that, it is that time the market, but don't time the market, meaning if you need to buy, you're going to buy regardless. Okay. Now, what you can do is if you're only going to live in that area for a short period of time, like 7 to 10 years, maybe you don't want to go into a 30-year fixed mortgage. Maybe you want to go into an arm, a 7-1 arm, a 10-1 arm that it only gives you that. Now, they are risky. Those loans are risky for sure. And nobody guarantees that interest rates are not going to go up. Yeah, the trend is we hope they go down, but they can also go up. We just don't know. But that can be an option, and I'll be more than happy to put you in touch with one of my loan consultants about that. Anticipate the impact of market activities and affordability. These things are fluctuating. They're going up and down. There's certain areas right now in the country, like in Miami, Atlanta, Georgia, they're kind of saying that they have more houses than buyers. And as a result, that may just reduce prices. So we may potentially see a price adjustment of in the future. Could be 5%, could be 10, could be 25%. It all depends on where you are located. It is not going to be a nationwide thing. It's going to be in different pockets. So you got to be careful with that. You got to be willing to wait for better market conditions. What I mean by that, it is, yes, probably interest rates may come down, but that may just fuel more buyers and the prices can go up. So you got to be careful with that, but you got to be able to adapt. Maybe you want to buy points as you are navigating this, and you said, hey, you know what? I probably can buy points to bring down my interest rates. And if the interest rates go down at some point, you can always refinance. Now, if you bought a house at a 7% and all of a sudden interest rates are 6.25%, I don't think it's worth for you to refinance because the savings is not significant. But from 7.25% to maybe 5.25% or 5%, I will say definitely refinance because that should be a very significant savings amount. So keep that in mind. You have to be able to have additional solutions. If buying right now is not a solution and you already own a house and you want to buy a bigger house and you're just concerned about the prices, just to stay in the current house that you have. I've seen some people to the point that they will actually rent the current home they have because it's too small, and they go and rent another house. I know it's against what most realtors and professionals tell you. They say you should be buying, not renting. But one can potentially help you with the other one. What you need is a space, better schools, better location, but you're concerned about the prices. Maybe renting your current home to rent another one is one option. If you don't own a house and you just need to go and rent something, that's potential another one. Now, if you own a house, you can sell that house and then go back and rent keep the proceeds for a while, wait until the market gets to a better place, and then go and buy something. That could potentially help you because let's say you end up with $150,000 in proceeds from the sale of your house, but prices going up, then your buying power goes down. If prices come down, then your buyer power goes up. It all depends. You got to keep an eye on the market trends and any professional services that somebody can do out there. As I said, CoreLogic is it's a company that sends really nice emails that I like. I'm in the process of working my own emails so for you all to receive them. So stay tuned so you can subscribe. And then lastly is look into other programs that maybe you can have access to, government programs that can give you a certain help right now when you needed to buy a property that it's a little bit more affordable for you, so you don't have to stretch yourself too much. Those are the things that kind of like I think are very important. You just got to keep an eye on everything that it's out there. That's it. I think I've covered everything I can. I've probably said too much today, but this is really good. Hey, again, as I said, if you're looking to move to this area and want to have a conversation, or just really wanted to buy a house anywhere and you feel like we have connected in here, drop me a line. I will answer you here. I will reply. I promise I'll reply to all my messages, or just set up a consultation with me for free. We'll talk. No strings attached, no sales pressure, just education. And do me a favor, give it a big like to this one, smash that button to subscribe so that you can continue to receive content like this one every week. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.